Today I'm with Christine Anderson. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, thank you.
So you are doing your touring across Canada. Why do you think it's so successful and popular?
Well, first of all, I mean, I've been received here by the Canadian people. That has just been phenomenal. I've never been made feel so welcome anywhere else, and it's been really overwhelming. And yeah, I just, like I said, the Canadian Freedom Truckers, they are the bravest people in the world, and I feel so blessed that I got a chance to meet with them.
We know that you had also, I think it was yesterday, you had a private dinner with some MP of the Conservative Party.
Yes, I did. And it was fine. It was excellent, actually. We had a great time. We got along pretty well. And we touched on some issues that we're both dealing with in the respective parliaments. And we discussed how we could possibly form a platform so to be more effective as to not get the, how should I put this, the globalitarian elites that obviously have infiltrated our democratically elected government to a point that they no longer serve in the best interest of the people. And I think we've come up with some ideas of how to do this.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about a statement that went out from the Conservative Party saying that they called you a vile racist. How do you intend to respond to that?
Yes, I've seen that a tweet by Mr. Poilievre, and it really saddens me that he would actually use the same language that Mr. Trudeau or all the other governments in the Western democracies would use to slander me. Like I said, we really had a great time with members of his party. We all enjoyed ourselves. And if he resorts to that and misrepresents what I stand for in such a way, then I'm terribly sorry. Then I will have to tell Mr. Poilievre he has no business being the leader of the opposition because he's actually doing Mr. Trudeau's bidding, and he should seriously reconsider if he would like to continue to do this, because if he does, the way I see it, the people will no longer support him, and that would serve him right.
So, since he seems to agree with that statement, what is your thought now? Because it was not this thought that you had about him. What is your thought now about him?
Oh, well, I definitely changed my perspective on him now. Like I said, anyone doing the bidding of Mr. Trudeau and buying into the narrative of, representing me in a way that, as Mr. Trudeau would put it or would call it, unacceptable views, just goes to show that apparently he is someone that truly lacks the ability to see what's right in front of him and to see what is really important. And he may no longer be fit to actually represent the people.
We saw a picture on Twitter circulating. So my question to you would be, why did you choose to pose with the controversial Diagolon flag and salute with its member?
To be quite honest, I actually had a blast doing it because I was told this is like, they are comedians and literally made a mockery of this whole government agenda and the way they're trying to slander even the Freedom Truckers as racists and all of that. So they came up with this idea, created like this flag and a special greeting, and I just had a blast with it. And yeah, I've, posted a post for the picture with that, and I will not apologize for that because I had a good time doing it. I just like the idea of someone making a mockery of this whole madness that is going on with the governments controlling the people. So yes, that was actually pretty funny, and I did that. What I did not appreciate, however, is that this picture then obviously was used in a completely different context, given it a different meaning, but I will not apologize for that. I had a blast, and I will do it again because no one gets to define me. I know what I stand for. I know exactly who I am. I know what I'm fighting, and I know perfectly well what I am fighting for, and that is freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. And if you throw in some kind of a comedian touch in that, oh, be my guest. I will be all for it. So no one gets to define me.
Did you heard about the Agolon before, or the flag that he's carrying around?
No, I hadn't heard. I was told. And like I said, I just loved the idea of someone making a mockery of these overreaching and controlling governments.
So you are persuaded that the Agolon and his flag is just mockery and just kind of humoristic movement.
Yeah, that is exactly my impression. And like I said, it's a brilliant idea. And maybe more people should do it. Just make a mockery of this idiotic government that is increasingly infringing on fundamental rights. Make a mockery of it, because that's all we have left pretty much. And I can tell you about in Germany, they just took down a group of people that were allegedly trying to overthrow government and kidnap our Secretary of Health. While I will have to admit I cannot see why anyone would want to kidnap this idiot. But aside from that, so they took this group of people down, and turned out they were like 80, 81-year-olds and an old lady with a plastic bag. And I was like, seriously, they should get prepared and monitor all, the walker sales, because if that increases, they might mobilize to overtake the government. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about. It's just ridiculous.
But if you knew before that all the flag and this group, what they stand for is mostly extremists and not really greatly viewed by the society, by what they stand for, would you have done the same?
Well, the question is, are they really extremists, or are they only being labeled as extremists? Once again, my impression was, and I still continue to think of it that way, it was someone trying to make a mockery of this ridiculous attempt of the governments to control the people. And like I said, brilliant idea. More people should do it.
Mm-hmm. We know that also now that you are under attack by a lot of people on Twitter, they use one of your tweets speaking out about the number of Muslims entering in Europe in the past year. I think your tweet is come from 2021. And so my question will be, do you do a difference between the radical Islam and the Muslim, or you condemn all this religion as a whole?
Okay. I always differentiate between people and organizations. So when looking at Islam, I do not have problems with Muslims. I do, however, have a problem with Islam. I do not consider Islam to be a religion, much less a religion of peace. It's actually a religion of submission. I seriously have a problem with Islam. I'm not Islamophobe. On the contrary, I'm not afraid of Islam. What I'm afraid of is that Islam, and I consider it that to be, the Islam is a misogynistic, dehumanizing, and ideology. It's not a religion, at least not by our standard of what a religion should be. Our understanding of religion is actually that love, compassion, forgiveness, and eternal life. That's our understanding of religion. That, however, does not apply to Islam, at least not if you really look into this ideology. By no stretch of the imagination would you actually consider that a religion. It's kind of like while communism claims to be some kind of a governing mechanism, which it's not, it's a religion, but Islam posing as a religion is exactly that. It's a state ideology.
And so what you will respond to the people who we call you Islamophobic?
Like I said, I am not afraid of Islam, by no means, but I'm definitely opposed to Islam because I do consider it a misogynistic, dehumanizing ideology, totalitarian even, if you will.
And so for finishing all this interview, a lot of people doesn't know who is Christine Anderson. She just show up after like blasting Mr. Trudeau in front of everybody in the European Parliament. Can you a little bit explain who you are?
Well, I'm just a person who has, as a German, I consider myself to indeed have learned from history. And that was a very dark time we had in Germany in the 30s. So, but you need to understand the mechanisms of how was it all possible that this horrible, abominable Nazi regime came all about. You have to understand this. And once you do, you will see the parallels we're seeing right now. And I will fight that for as long as I can. Because I don't ever want anyone to have to experience that again. And all of the ones that consider me right-wing extremist or even call me a Nazi, I will just, give back or give in response. The ones screaming loudest, never again, they wouldn't recognize fascism if it jumped up and bit them in their faces. And the ones believing they would have been the guys back then being in resistance, well, look at you now. Look at what you've done the last 3 years, and there's your answer. No, you would not have been in resistance. You would have been right up front, in front of the parade, marching and cheering it on. That's you.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy your trip here in Canada. And I hope like all this will not destroy like your view of what Canada is about.
No, it will absolutely not. I mean, what I've experienced here, that has been really, it has been phenomenal. I mean, I got to ride on a truck, and they organized a freedom convoy just for me. That made me feel so special, and I just want to represent the people. I want to give them a voice, and I want them to be able to realize what democracy is really all about. It's about the people. It's not about the government. The people are the ones that are in charge in democracy, and a lot of the rulers, they probably have forgotten that they are the ones, at the bidding of the people. So it made me feel so special, and I've met so many excellent and great people, and I will never forget that. And whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're now trying to do with this trip, I mean, I really feel sorry for them. They have no idea how great this has actually been.